Tucked away in Lenoir County is what some experts consider a hidden gem with years of history in one place. WNCT's Ken Watling joins us now from downtown Kinston. And Ken, some may not know about the rich history in the town. What can you tell us?
That's right, Shayla. There is so much history in this city. The Down East Wood Ducks minor league baseball team, they play across town in historic Granger Stadium. It's one of the oldest minor league ballparks in the country. It's a great place to watch a baseball game. Right now, though, we're going to go a little bit farther back in time because Kinston is home to a key piece of Civil War history. People from all over the world come to check out the CSS Neuse replica here behind me, but the remnants of the actual CSS Neuse, a Confederate gunboat, are displayed across town on Queen Street. Right now, a look at this massive piece of Kinston and Civil War history.
We house the only remaining commissioned Confederate ironclad above water.
Sitting at 158 feet long and 34 feet wide, what remains of the CSS Neuse in Kinston is remarkable. Even more impressive, the ship's impact on Civil War history here in the East.
The construction on the Neuse started in November of 1862, and it was an effort by the Confederate government to try and get something that can combat the federal forces that were down in New Bern.
This is all longleaf pine.
Okay.
Locally grown, locally harvested. So it was very much a deterrent to keep Union troops away from Kinston.
But the Confederates' best plans for the ship would end up hitting a snag.
On her maiden voyage, she goes about a half-mile downriver and hits a sandbar. She stays on that sandbar for about a month, and in middle May of 1864, the river rises enough that they can bring her back to her dock. By March of 1865, everything's falling apart for the Confederacy.
She fought at the Battle of Wise Fork in March of 1865. She shelled federal positions, and then she received orders to scuttle the ship to prevent it from being captured by federal troops. So that's what her crew does. They burn the ship, they blow a hole in the front of it.
But as with any good story, that wasn't the end of the road for the Neuse. The remnants of this ironclad sat at the bottom of the Neuse River for nearly 100 years. That is, until a group of 3 businessmen got together with a plan to resurrect this piece of Kinston history.
Unfortunately, these guys weren't professionals.
They destroyed about half the ship while they were raising it, though, because it was more of a salvage operation than an archaeological recovery.
So it actually took them from 1961 to the summer of '63 to actually pull the ship up out of the water.
A ship that has found a permanent home at the CSS Neuse Interpretive Center on Queen Street.
It takes just a little bit of that story that has fascinated people for over 150 some years, is of the American Civil War, and just shows how Kinston played such a part.
And if you'd like to see this amazing piece of Civil War history in person, you can do that. The CSS Neuse Interpretive Center on Queen Street is open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. It's an amazing piece of history right here in Eastern North Carolina. Much more to come from Kinston and our Living Local stop at the end of the show, but for now, let's go back to the studio.